Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here on another Webfire Wednesday Marketing webinar. And on this call, we'll basically be talking about 5 things that every business should do today. So it's kind of like almost like a checklist that you should go through with your own businesses or those of essentially possible prospects or any kind of clients of yours too. You'll kind of want to run them through the same list right there. Now, obviously, there's a lot more things that you can do and such. I just want to give just like a quick breakdown of 5 things that you should look for to kind of give you something to start with, especially with several of the Webfire tools and such, just to kind of give you an idea of kind of like a basic plan of action that you can have to start out there. So pretty good call right here, especially if you're new or especially if you want like a quick list of things that you should change in your business or your sites or for basically your clients right now. So without further ado, we can get the show on the road. Now, as most of you know, we have these calls every Wednesday at about 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is right about now. Now that's for London time. That's at the moment about 7 o'clock at night. If you're over in Australia, depending upon where you are, that'd be kind of like the more like very early morning. But just make sure that when you sign up or when you register for these calls, it will give you the local time as well. So you can always essentially check that and make sure that it's all right. And these calls will always be at the same time each week, which again is every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Now each time we'll host either like a live training call or like a Q&A call for our members. And like I'd say about probably 95% of the time, it will be either myself or my partner Sean, or usually both of us. Occasionally, we'll have like a guest speaker if we think that there's basically a topic of interest. So we sometimes will have those as well right there. Now, I know that there's a lot of new people on this call right here, so I just want to give you a heads up to make sure that you're aware that we have these calls each week. And if you see this, you're hopefully registered, but if not, inside the members area, there is a little box or little graphic that you can click that says to register for these calls. And also in the welcome email, you'll have that as well. And I'll show off a few things inside the members area just a bit, just for a few minutes time, just for those that are brand new. And then in a little bit, we can basically move on to the rest of the call right here. Now, if you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area, usually within about a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. And I'll show that off in just a second. Now, this is one of the few rare exceptions right here. Sean is actually currently gone on vacation and in the middle of driving and such. And I'm actually, at the time that this call will be, I'll actually be on a flight back home. I just spoke at a marketing conference in London. So I'll be basically at the tail end of the flight. So I actually recorded this part ahead of time. Now I said like, this is the first time we've ever actually done a recording instead of live. That's just because it's one of the rare times that both myself and Sean are both gone, but I still want to get you guys a training call. So I recorded this out. And on top of that, if you do have any questions live though, we do have some Webfire workers on the call itself who will be answering your questions in the chat box. So if you basically type in a question, they'll be happy to help you out there as well. So you can still ask any questions you want live. And then again, next week, Sean and I will be back for another live call. So keep that in mind. And of course, if you ever have any questions at all, you can always reach us at support@webfire.com. You can also, inside the members area, there is a help desk as well. If you use that instead, it basically guarantees that there's never like a missed email or anything like that, or no issues right there, because it's all in the help desk right there. So if you don't see a reply back, or if there's like an email issue, you can always click on the help desk and see the replies right there. And as another side note, we do have a free Facebook group, which we have. If you go to getwebfire.com/FB group, it will forward you to the Facebook group right there. You'll have to click the join button, and then Sharon or another worker of ours will usually approve you fairly quickly. If you basically do it right now on one of these live calls, you're usually approved within like a minute or two or three. If it's outside of the calls, usually you're approved very, very quickly, pretty much always the exact same day. But that's a nice group right there if you want to follow along on the calls right there. We also announce the new calls, which again are every Wednesday. We throw the recordings and stuff up there, and if you have any questions or anything like that, you can post them up there. Now, if you have like a tech issue or like a question like that, we ask that you use the help desk or support@webfire.com instead, because we just want to make sure that the stuff within the group is like useful stuff for everyone, like marketing type questions and kind of stuff like that right there, to make sure it's of high value right there. But feel free to join that. That is entirely free. And yeah, so pretty good stuff right there. And on most weeks, we also give away $100 live as well. So not only do you get a bunch of free training, you have a chance to win $100 as well. So that this is a recording, so we can't do a live drawing today, but we will next week, and we'll make up for that as well with possibly some other extra drawings or bonuses and stuff too. So make sure to join that group right there. And yeah, so before we move on to the rest of the training, I want to give just like maybe a 2 or 3 minute overview of the members area inside of WebFire, because I know there's a lot of new members and such. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second here. And here we are inside the members area. Now, the very first time you log in, okay, it will look a little different than this right here. It will essentially prompt you to download the desktop app, and it will show some like walkthrough videos and stuff like that. So the first time through, make sure you don't miss that stuff. If by chance you accidentally get essentially past that point or anything like that, do make sure that you download either the Mac app or the Windows app, depending upon which one you're on. You can get those links up here, or if you click on the Getting Started right here, it will prompt you for that as well. That's because a handful of the tools, not all of them, but a handful of the tools require the desktop app, and that's because it does some stuff for you in the background, like on several of the lead tools and stuff like that. You can search for new leads for you in the background and such. It does like a handful of stuff that's a little more powerful and stuff. So make sure to have that app downloaded right there, and you should be fine. Just follow the instructions there. You can also, if you want to see an overview of WebFire, you can click right here. If you want to see like a essentially like a text breakdown of what some of the tools are, you can click right here. If you want to see, we have a bunch of traffic training and such on all sorts of different topics. If you click right here, you'll see a drop down right here, and it has all sorts of different sections that you can go to get all sorts of different training and stuff like that. So make sure to check out that if that's of interest. If you have any issues on the Windows or the Mac side, you can click right there. And as a side note, both the Mac and the Windows app work right now, but the Mac app is in the middle of an update. We just did an update on the Windows side not too long ago, and now they're working on the Mac update, and it basically speeds up a handful of the searches and makes sure that there's like, like occasionally on the Mac side, we saw that if it was like a slower search, occasionally there might be like essentially like a stall in the search. So that's being addressed and fixed right there with some new updates and changes, and that should be out probably within a day or two tops. and it will, if you install the app itself, it will automatically update itself every day at the end of the day, so you don't have to worry about that. But just be aware of that, the speed should increase on that very soon. Every now and then there's like certain kinds of updates that we have to do to, um, essentially accommodate any changes within any of the tools or the net and stuff, and that was just one of them right there. Now for the training calls, you can register right here. These are the Wednesday calls. Just click right there, go through that right there, and you'll be fine. If by chance you miss a call and you want to see what the recording was, you can just go to the training right here, click down right here, and you'll see a bunch of things right here. You'll want to go to the Wednesday training link. You'll click that, and the most recent calls will be at the very top. So this would be the one from like last week and the one from the week prior to that, so on and so forth. If there's a topic of interest to you, because there's a lot of calls. I mean, there's, gosh, I want to say there's well over probably 100, if not a lot more. If there's a topic that's of interest to you, you can look at essentially the titles of them to get a general idea, but you can also search by keyword. So if you're into affiliate marketing or you're into SEO, you can type in SEO or affiliate or basically anything like that, and it will show all the relevant videos to that right there. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want. And on the training side as well, outside of these calls, we have lots of training under here that you can go through on our free course right here and kind of pick any of the topics that are of interest to you right there. Now, as far as how to access all of the tools, they are all right here. You click on any of the categories you want, like SEO and keywords, and you see all the SEO tools right there. The main ones right here would be the analysis tool, the keyword tool right here, which is the main keyword tool, SEO configuration, and schema. And the SEO configuration is one that helps kind of like fixes tags and stuff with your site. You can also get to most of that through the website analysis tool right here. We have a lot of content tools right here, including ones to help make and create content and videos and such, and submit those. We have a bunch of lead tools right here. The last three right here are probably the main three as far as the lead tools go right there. I should say three of the main four. Another one we have under social, we have a lead tool under there, which is Tweet Lead Finder, because that's slightly more of like a social tool because it's a lead tool based upon social media. So technically it could be in both of them, but to make it easy, we put that right there. And this is the tool right here to automatically put your social media on autopilot, the poster fire. So yeah, just feel free to browse through that and feel free to watch the overview. We're constantly doing new updates. We also have a walkthrough of everything right here. If you just click right here, and a lot of the individual WebFire tools and such will also have a walkthrough link on any of the tools when you click on those as well. So if you have any questions or you get lost or anything like that, again, feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to help you with that. And on next week's call as well, or the week after, I have to plan out with Sean, but in one of the next 2 weeks, we'll have a call geared more towards like, hey, what are some of the most popular uses of WebFire to help you start out and to help you make money. So we'll have one of those calls geared more towards that to kind of help you out. And this call too will give you kind of like 5 things that any business can basically do, and it ties into a lot of the tools and stuff here. So just wanted to point that out right there. And again, feel free to reach out to our support right here. And with that, I'll go back to the PowerPoint for the rest of the call. So there we go. So now we can move on to the training for this week on 5 things that all businesses should do today. So with that, I'll basically talk about the 5 things that all businesses should do today. Then I'll give some examples within WebFire. So several of those things, there's a handful of tools that can help with those. So I'll kind of point those out for those that are new. And then, of course, if you have any other questions, you can ask those. Now, because I'm currently on a plane, as you're hearing this right here. Sharon will be on this call live, and she'll be answering questions in the chat box if you have any. The next week, Sean and I will be back to normal right there on these live calls. So again, this is one of those rare ones. I should say the only one so far in the past like 2 or 3 years where unfortunately we're both in the middle of flying and traveling, so we wouldn't be live on this one. But I'm here in spirit. Yeah, and again, you can always reach us at support@webfire.com. And again, feel free to ask any question you want live here because we still have some help on this call to answer you live as well. So moving on to 5 things every business should do today. Number 1, this is important, check your keywords, your title tags, and your content. You want to ask yourself, do you rank for some or most of the keywords that you think you should rank for? And that's an important thing, is do you think you should rank for it? So like if you have a site that, you know, is minorly related to weight loss, it's like, do you really think that you should rank for weight loss and diet? Probably not, unless it's like a stellar site with amazing info that everyone would want. But if you have a site that you legitimately think, hey, this is a really good site, has some good content, this is what searchers would really want, and you think you have the relevant content and all that, and you don't rank for that, that's probably because it's an easily fixable issue related to either your keywords or basically your title tags or the content. So if you don't rank for most of those, or at least some, most likely you need to look at your title tags and the content to make sure that they contain the keywords that you're trying to rank for. So some of you are probably asking, well, what exactly is a keyword? What exactly is a title tag? Well, a keyword is basically a word that you're trying to rank for when someone basically types in a keyword or a term on like Google or Yahoo or anything like that. You want to show up in the search engines for those organically. So not a paid ad, but organically. And now a title tag is basically it's just a line of code, which you don't have to know any code. Don't worry about that at all. We have the tools to help with that right there. It's basically some code that specifies what the title of your blog is. So if you do a search on Google right now, you usually see a lot of blue links. So each site is basically a blue link if you do a Google search. The words within those blue links typically are also the title tag. And if you have a keyword-rich title tag for a keyword that isn't terribly hard to rank for, you have a good chance of ranking on page 1 for that term right there. So, you know, as an extra tip, you want to make sure that the title tag keywords are not only SEO friendly or contain the keyword or keywords that you're trying to rank for, but that they're also interesting. So if you're trying to rank for a keyword like puppy potty training, let's say, okay, you obviously would have the term puppy potty training within the title tag itself, if that's one that you found to be, you know, an easier one to rank for. Like let's say you use the keyword tool inside of Webfire and you found that that's a good chance to rank. You know, you'd want to have that in the title tag of one of the pages on your site. So every page you have on your site is a separate web page and can have a different kind of title tag. Just like every blog post you have on a site, it technically is a different web page and can have a different title tag. And if you use the blog plugins that we have available, or the SEO configuration tool we have, you can automatically make sure that like new blog posts you do automatically have the name of the blog post as the title and such. But you want to make sure that they're also interesting. So for instance, instead of just puppy potty training, you could have a title like best puppy potty training tricks dash 5-minute method to train your puppy. So a keyword like that it has a lot of extra keywords that don't necessarily, um, help you rank for a term. Like, for instance, 5-minute method or 5-minute trick or anything like that. No one's probably specifically trying to do a search for 5-minute trick or anything like that. I mean, it's possible, but unlikely. But it makes it very interesting. So when people see something like, puppy potty training dash 5-minute method or trick or anything like that, they're much more likely to be encouraged to click through and see what that is because it's interesting. Would you rather click just a link that says puppy potty training, or would you rather click one that says that along with 5-minute method or 5-minute trick or anything like that? Obviously, you'd probably click the second one, even if it's ranked like number 2 or 3 or 4 instead of 1. And what Google does is the more actual clicks you get once you're ranked, the more likely you are to move up the rankings and maintain those rankings, especially if they stay on your site for more than just a couple seconds or so. So that's a little trick right there. Now, you can use the SEO configuration tool, or it's sometimes referred to as the SEO Inferno tool. But right now, it's actually called the SEO configuration within the link or within the nav bar on the left side. And I'll show that off towards the end of this call. Every tool I'll mention on this call, I'll show off where to find it. You can use that, or you can also use the tag makers inside the website analysis tool inside of Webfire. So if you use the analysis tool, any problem it finds on your site, next to it will just be a button that says fix. If you click that, it will go to the proper place to fix that. You can also check your image alt tags as well if you use images, or if you're an e-com site. You can of course also use the website analysis tool, which automatically can go to the tag maker or the SEO configuration tool to help with that as well. Now, what an alt tag is, or what an image alt tag is basically a name or keyword assigned to any kind of graphic or any image you have on your site. Now, most will have a default like 11159264.7.jpg, which tells Google nothing. Now, if you have a site that sells Siberian Husky coffee mugs, make sure that the image alt tag on the coffee mug itself says something like Siberian Husky coffee mug. So when someone does that search, your page is not only more likely to rank, but Google oftentimes will have the actual images themselves rank towards the top as well. So you could have your image of the coffee mug rank as well right there. You also want to make sure to do some additional keyword research by using Webfire's main keyword tool to find easy opportunities to rank for keywords or create new content to rank for. So you can use the main keyword tool inside of Webfire to again find the easy opportunities, or again the keywords that show up in green, to give you a good chance to rank for it. You can try to actually target those guys right there, especially for more longer tail keywords, like if it's 3 words or more. You can find a lot of good and easy opportunities right there as well, and especially ones where you can see they still get a lot of traffic. Because usually for like keywords that are especially like 3 words or more, if there's not a lot of sites trying to compete, or if not a lot of sites have those terms inside essentially the title tags, you have an almost guaranteed chance of ranking for those if you target those in the title tags of your site. Now, again, we have all the tools to help you, with all that right there. Now, you can also, this is like a very neat thing that you can do to get like lots of traffic over time, is you can brainstorm basically questions or additional keywords that basically your prospects might be searching for, and then create content or videos for them that are optimized to rank for them, and make sure that you answer all of those common searches or questions to create kind of like a giant spider web to grab all the prospects. So on top of looking for like the easy to rank for keywords, you can also try to brainstorm like what kind of questions or search terms people would search for, and start to try to create a bunch of blog posts or videos or some kind of content where you're trying to target not only the questions or the terms in your title tag or in the title of your blog post or the title of your video, but you clearly basically address or answer the questions or whatever the search term might be within the content itself. And what that does, it starts to create kind of like a spider web of all these search terms and stuff that you can rank for, including all the questions that a lot of prospects might be asking, where they're more likely to find you. And if you expand the spider web with a lot of these questions and such over time, you can start to get a lot of traffic going to your site. Now, you don't have to have like 100 questions on 100 blog posts to start with, but if you do like even one a week, like let's say you take a half hour or an hour or even 2 hours a week, and you do just one or two of these a week, over time, they'll add up. After a month or two or three, you start to get a lot more, a lot more of an effect where, a little amount of traffic here and there can start to add up to be a lot. And this can last for years and years and years to come way down the line as well. So definitely check that and take advantage of that. Number two, you want to check for or add what's called a schema. Now, I'll show off what a schema is in just a bit, but you want to first ask, do you use a schema? Well, a lot of sites actually don't, and it's kind of like a newer thing in the last few years, especially in the last year or two. It's been a lot more important. A schema basically gives you more information to places like Google on you or your business. It also gives you the chance to get better rankings as well by providing them more information. And it gives you a higher chance of basically taking up way more space on a Google search. It also lets you do things like click to call, show menus, show hours, show reviews, show social media, so on and so forth, like if you're a local business. Now, you can still use a schema if you're not a local business, but obviously like the menu option would only be if you're a restaurant. The hours of operation would only be if you're like a local business, but there's lots of schemas that you can use even if you're not a local business. It also lets you show multiple pages instead of just one within a single search. It also lets you show like review stars. If you've ever seen sites that have like the little stars in the search engine results, you can get those through here. If you've ever seen sites that automatically show the price within a Google search, you can have that all done through the use of a schema. All that, again, even if you're a non-local business. So you'll want to use Webfire's Schema Maker tool to add relevant schemas to your site there. So I'll just pause this for a second as I show you exactly what a schema is right here. So essentially what a schema would be is, I'll just pause this for a second as I show that. So what a schema would essentially be would be like right here. Like this is a client we had where it's essentially a tennis shop, and you can see that if you do a search, you see not only do they have the first link right here, they have several other links underneath them. That's all done through the use of a schema. You see that they also have a picture of their site, of their business. You also see that they have a map right there. You see they have the reviews, they have directions, they have their number, they have a bunch of other stuff. If they were on the mobile, or if you did a search from a mobile phone, you'd probably have a click to call as well. They can have their social media, they can have reviews, and a bunch of other things there as well. And again, that's all done through the use of a schema. And the Schema Maker tool is just right here. You go to SEO and keywords, down to schema markup, and then you pick the kind of schema you want. Like if it's a local business, you just click here. It shows you an example of that. If you just want a site-wide one, or actually, where's the site-wide one? This is the one I'm looking for. the navigation, if you want one like this right here, where it has like more than just the top link, it has like a bunch of links underneath that. You can see the different kinds of schemas right here, even if you're just like a video, or if you're just, you know, like a blog or anything like that. You can pick whatever one or ones. You're allowed to have more than one on a page if you want. Then you just fill in the relevant info right here. Then you click create code if you want to paste that code onto your site, or you can quickly and easily add it onto WordPress or onto an HTML site. So WordPress is just a popular blog platform, whereas HTML is what most other sites use. So you can do all that, and you can follow the instructions on what to do right there. And there's also a walkthrough on that right here for those of you that want some more info. So I just thought I'd explain what that was really quick for those that didn't know, and we can jump back to the slides. And this is also like a great one. Not only should you check this on your own sites, but this is the kind of service that if you sell to like a local business for $500 to like $1,000, this is kind of like a steal of a deal, because it's like, hey, would you rather be like this guy that basically dominates page one, has all this exposure, or would you rather be like this guy that's on like, you know, the bottom of page one or page 2 or 3, or especially on like a mobile phone? You know, would you rather be the guy that has like a click to call, where, you know, obviously a lot more people on the phone will do a click to call versus wanting to click on a site first, then find, you know, a number on there? I mean, they just lose a lot of business by not having a schema. Even for a non-local business, kind of the same thing. And it's an easy thing to have. And we actually have a couple of the training calls we have, including one of the methods to start to making sales and stuff with Webfire actually goes into a lot more detail about how to sell the schema and how to do all that. So make sure to check out that if that's of interest to you. Now, the third thing that you should do whether you're starting out or you have an existing business or you want to do this for a client of yours, is you want to examine your funnel. So you want to ask, do you sell any products or any offers behind your main offer? That means, like, you know, let's say you sell a weight loss book for $7. What do you sell after that? Do you have like a video course, or do you have some coaching? Do you sell some like food or exercise equipment? Like, what exactly do you sell beyond that? Because if you don't have anything past that, and oftentimes even if you do have some offers beyond that, you should really examine how you can add additional upsells or back-end offers to make more money from day one and beyond. You'll want a mix of low-end, high-end, and recurring opportunities in an ideal funnel. So what that means is, if you have like a front end of like a $7 weight loss book, let's say, you could have an upsell then that has maybe a video demonstration of like the top 5 exercises, and that could be maybe like a $27 offer, like a $19 offer, or anything like that. So and it's the kind of offer that's relevant. People could see the value in that, and maybe beyond that, you could have like a weight loss app of some kind, or a membership for X amount of money per month, or even like a one-on-one online coaching of some kind. Or if you're an offline business, it could be a one-on-one coach or a class or anything like that. So you want to have kind of like a good chance to make multiple different sales, including like low end, mid, high end, and reoccurring opportunities right there. Because what that does is, first, it makes you a lot more money, which makes it more worth your time to get the traffic or pay for the traffic if you go that route. But it makes it far more worthwhile. And even cooler is that typically on even a well-adjusted business or a well-optimized business, just by adding a single upsell, you can increase your sales by 1/3 to half or more. And in some cases, you can increase your sales by 2, 3, 4, 5 times simply by having a good back end and a good funnel. So definitely think of what you can do right there. Now, it's super easy to create new offers. So don't let that hold you back if you're like, well, I don't know what else to sell beyond this book or beyond whatever you have. Don't think too hard on that because I guarantee if you can't think of like a few options within a couple minutes, you're thinking too hard. Okay? Because you can do extra courses or info products. You can do training webinars. You can do interviews with experts that you turn into a product. A big one is done for you services, even ones that you can easily outsource. So it's not like you have to do the service yourself. You can outsource this to workers. You can go on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and find lots of guys that do all sorts of services for $5 that you can turn into ones that you can sell for $100 or more easily. In some cases, even per month, or hundreds of dollars per month, and that can give you some good ideas right there, especially ones that do like a good job but don't necessarily market it well. You can easily partner with guys to help you with that right there. And if that's of interest to you, we have a lot of training on just that, including in the special USB drive, we have one of the trainings is how to increase your price points by 10 to 100 times or more. Definitely watch that because it kind of gives you an idea of how to sell what a lot of people sell for a lot less, what you can sell for a lot more quickly and easily. Even if you don't have an existing product or service of your own right now, it can easily teach you how to get your own. You can also have software that you make and stuff, or that you partner with and sell. So there's lots of new offers. Typically, if you're brand new, I mean, any kind of like an extra info product or like an interview or a done-for-you service can be some of the easier ones to get into. Now, having the right funnel can drastically increase your sales and turn an okay or even a bad business model into a great one. Now, if you want a free tool that costs you nothing that we made, you can go to bizfire.com/survey and take the business survey there first. I'm just asking you a bunch of questions about your existing business, or if you don't have one, that's fine too. It will ask you if you have one or not. Just make sure you answer the questions there. And then at the end of the survey, once you answer all the questions right there, it takes only like a minute or two. You'll see a free sign up for a free funnel maker tool that lets you play around with potential funnels to see how much you could make with a few easy tweaks. So there's some free software at the end that you can sign up for that lets you, well, at first it gives you a handful of actual examples of like different kinds of funnels and stuff and what those look like. And you can either tweak those or make your own from scratch and play around with the numbers and see, hey, what happens if I get like, a 1 or 2% conversion rate here, or what happens in this case or that case. And it gives you kind of like a cool idea of what's what right there and how much money you could make. In fact, that's a very awesome tool right there. I've seen guys do some that do a lot less than that they charge a monthly fee for, and we offer that for free. So definitely take advantage of that right now, or by the end of this call if you get a chance right there. So you can start that by just, if you go to bizfire.com/survey, and after you take this survey too, not only at the top will you see the ad for the free funnel maker, but if you take this survey itself, it will also give you some suggestions on what you should do there as well. So that's kind of a cool thing to check out. Number 4 on what you should do. You want to look for potential partners or white label type deals that you can do, especially if you're new, or especially if you're looking to grow fast. This is one of the things I think can really make a drastic difference. So you want to ask yourself, do you only try to sell your offers yourself? If so, you could be leaving a ton of money on the table. Try to identify other businesses or individuals who might possibly benefit by being able to sell your products or services as their own without them having to do any more work. So the easier you make it, the more likely you are to get a deal there. Now, you want to reach out to them and just basically ask if they'd ever be interested in such a deal, and make it clear that you'll handle all the support, all the sales pages, so on and so forth, if they want, while they get a massive cut or a greatly reduced price so they can charge their customers whatever they want. A single deal can be a full-on business all by itself. So I'll say that again. A single deal here can be a full-on business all by itself. Some of Webfire's tools, like the backlink tool, can help identify competitors and their traffic sources for you to instantly reach out to them in order to make your proposals. Remember, even if you don't have your own offer now, you can literally get one made, or even outsource a service, or use Webfire's tools to create a service of your own within a day or so. So don't let that hold you back. You literally can have a service that you can use, that you can sell, that you can reach out to others for and offer to do that service as a white label deal. Now, a few of you are probably asking, what is a white label deal? That's basically where you let someone else sell your product or service under their own name, even though you're doing all the work in the back end. So you might give them half or more of the actual sale, where you'll probably allow them to basically process it themselves. But the larger cut that you give, the more likely you are to get that deal made, especially if you take care of everything in the back end. So they don't have to do squat. They can just mail their list on it, or just add it into their own back end, and you can get sales off that. And we have a couple calls that specifically talk about how to do these kinds of deals right here. But I definitely encourage you to think that through about how you could possibly make a deal with someone else. We've done deals ourselves with others that have approached us, and we've approached others too with our own deals. So it goes kind of both ways. But those can make a lot of money, and not a lot of people truly take advantage of those. So definitely try to. Number 5 is you can take the time to proactively find new prospects out there. Oh, and really quick, just as a side note too, to go back to the number 4 one right here on the white label deals and stuff like that. Again, you can find lots of prospects, lots of leads using the lead tools or the backlink tool to find the kind of leads or the kind of sites or prospects that you can reach out to do a white label type deal. So basically think of who has a market share in your niche, reach out to those guys. Or you can use the backlink tool to see where a competitor gets basically their traffic from and reach out to either the competitor or reach out to where basically their traffic or the backlinks could come from and try to make a deal that way as well. And if you spend even like 10 minutes a week trying to reach out to guys, eventually you'll land a deal. And again, just one single deal can be worth a lot of money. So the last thing on this call right here is number 5, and it's take the time to proactively find new prospects out there. So you want to ask yourself, do you just wait for prospects to come to you? Because most people do just that, unfortunately. If so, you're probably leaving a ton of money on the table by just waiting for prospects to come to you instead of you going after them. If someone is asking a question related to your niche, or even asking a question on where to buy what you're selling, if you're not basically taking the time to reach out to them online, you're doing a major disservice to yourself. People are asking lots of questions all the time online on forums, social media, on blog comments, on Q&A sites, so on and so forth. By just simply taking a couple minutes to reply to some of them with valuable replies, posts, and comments, and so forth, you can not only help land some of those prospects, but dozens, hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of people in the future might see your responses and check out your website or your offer or your email or video, so on and so forth, to reach out to you. For instance, if there's, let's say using some of the lead tools, you find a place where, a guy is asking a question on a certain massage chair, or he says, hey, I have a $5,000 budget and I want to know, what the best chair within that price range would be. If you take just a minute or two to just respond to that guy on the forum or whatever site he's on, you not only help that one guy out, but there might be dozens or hundreds of others that are seeing that exact same post that might follow your exact same advice. And even cooler is in the future, a week down the line, or a month down the line, or even a year or two down the line, the keywords in the forum post itself can start to rank. So the question that the person asks can oftentimes rank, and a lot more people can oftentimes see that and will see the response that you gave. So you're not just helping one lead, you could be helping thousands upon thousands over time, which can translate to a lot more money for you. And again, you can use some of Webfire's lead tools to help you with that, including the real-time lead finder that can find people asking questions right now on like forums and blogs or places that you can reply on, or on the rank lead finder, which can help you literally siphon lots of traffic from page 1 of Google, Yahoo, and Bing in a matter of minutes. You can find sites that are ranked organically on page 1 for all sorts of various keywords in your niche that allow you to leave a post, comment, or reply. So we'll only find sites that allow you to leave a post, comment, or reply on them. So literally you can siphon traffic from page 1 in a matter of minutes. And that can turn into a lot of traffic and leads down the line, especially if you target them well. The Q&A lead tool is another one where you can find guys asking questions on Q&A sites that you can then leave a post, comment, or reply on. And with the tweet lead finder, you can find leads on social media, like on Twitter, of guys asking all sorts of questions that you can leave. Again, you can reply to them, or even build a list off of them by trying to follow them and having a lot of them follow you back and stuff, so you can quickly and easily build a list off there too. But again, the key is to provide lots of value first and foremost, because that will get you the best results in the long run right there. So in just a minute, I'll show some more examples within Webfire itself, just to show off where you can find the tools I basically mentioned on this call. I know I showed off the schema one, but I'll show off where the rest of them are in case you get lost right there. But with that too, if you have any other questions, feel free to either write that in the chat box right now, and Sharon will try to help you if there's anything that she can, or if not, just write support@webfire.com, or use the help desk inside of Webfire, inside the members area, and we'll make sure that you get answered, because as I said, Sean and I are currently in the middle of flying and traveling. I'm flying back from London, where I spoke at an event there, and he's on vacation, I believe, in Ireland now, so he's in the middle of travel and such. So this one we had to unfortunately record ahead of time, but again, the rest of them will all be live, and we do have some people live on this call to help answer your questions in the chat and such right there. But if you have any questions, feel free to email right there, or write it in the chat box, and Sharon will write you back in the chat as well with that. And as always, make sure to join our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. If you're not a free member of that yet, click basically to join, and you'll be probably instantly approved within a matter of minutes right there if you do so now. And make sure to join us on the future calls, again, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 p.m. London time, and it's kind of like the early morning in Australia time, so make sure to check all that right there. And Sean and myself will be on those calls live as well if you have any other questions or anything like this. And as I said, in the next couple weeks or so, we'll try to have the calls geared a lot more towards like stuff to do if you're brand new, or stuff to do to kind of give you like the greatest benefit in the least amount of time with Webfire and the tools and such with that. And of course, if there's any topics that you'd like some more training on, make sure to check out the existing training first. But if there's stuff that you think we could use some more on, let us know, and we'll try to make that happen as well. So I'm just going to pause the screen for a second as I go back to the browser just to show off some of the stuff that I was talking about. So right here, you see the schema tool that I showed off previously, which again you can get to under SEO and keywords. Go down to the schema. The SEO configuration tool I talked about, that's how to fix up a lot of the tags and stuff on your site. You can get to it right here. The website analysis tool, you can get to it right here. You can analyze your site and any issues it has, it will have like a fix link next to it, which will basically take you to the proper tool to fix all that stuff right there. So that's one that we talked about right there. Let's see, the other ones we talked about. We talked about the backlink tool to spy on where your competition gets basically the traffic from. That's right here. We talked about the keyword tool, which is right here. That's the main one right there. It's just called keyword tool. Several of the lead tools we talked about. Those are all right here. Oops, accidentally. Yep, right here. Here it is. Here's 3 that we talked about: the Q&A one, ranked lead finder, real-time lead finder. Again, real-time one finds leads in real time. Ranked ones finds leads on sites that are already ranking on page 1 that you can leave a post, comment, or reply on. Q&A one finds leads of people asking questions on Q&A sites. Under the social side, the lead one that we talked about on this call was Tweet Lead Finder, which can find leads on social media and such as well. So that was just a brief run through of all that stuff. And on one of the future calls in the next couple weeks, we'll kind of give more of like the quick jumpstart ways of things that you can do with Webfire, with like more of a specific kind of walkthrough for some of the tools and stuff and tricks that you can use to make some money and get some traffic and stuff like that. But as always, guys, again, I want to thank you for being on this call right here. And if you have any questions, again, you can feel free to ask those now in the chat box, and Sharon will write you back, because myself and Sean are currently in the middle of traveling or flying, but we'll be back live on the future calls as well. And as always, if you have any questions or any topics of interest to you, or you need any help at all, again, we're here, so reach out to us at just support@webfire.com, or just click on the help desk, which is just the support tab right here inside of the members area. And yeah, and we'll on one of these calls soon, we'll talk about some of the future updates we have in the works, and we'll go over some more ways of getting fast results with Webfire, and quick things that you can do to help your business and such. So with that, guys, let us know how we can help you. I appreciate your time being on this call, and we'll have the recording of this in the members area probably within a day, again, under the training tab right here, and then just click on Wednesday and you'll see it at basically the very top within about a day of this call right here. So with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on a future call again every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time or 7 p.m. London Time right there. So with that, guys, have a great rest of the week. I want to thank all the new members for joining, and again, let us know how we can be of more help to you. Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Take care and have a great week.